It wasn't easy to slip past the eyes of kindred, beasts that were built to prey. But Eddie and Sue believed that they had managed it. Every headlight they saw, every lingering gaze was potentially them. They approached the rusty water tower of Baluster Heights. Hopefully it was as clear as the odd emo kindred Sad had assured them. They traversed a high ladder which gave them a bird's eye view of the city in repose. As they climbed the metal grates, they were greeted by a voice. "I wasn't sure you'd come. It's this way," said Sad, the short emo kindred in all black baggy clothes. Sue jumped. Anyone that managed to get that close to her and maintain their anonymity scared the shit out of her. Sad didn't let her startled reaction move him to reaction. He just slowly showed them to the top of the water tank where there was a circular hatch. The mystery kindred opened the door with little effort. It was spacious, but hollow inside, much like Sad's heart, if you let him tell it. There was a sleeping bag, a generator, and several Christmas lights lining the insides of the tanker. "It's airtight, and they don't put water in this place this time of year." Sad shook hair out of his face like a mangy dog and selected a song on an iPod to a small speaker. It was something relaxed and laid back by Thievery Corp. "I don't have sleeping bags for you guys, but you can crash anywhere," he said. "Why you helping us?" asked Sue. "Because I don't have anyone else, and your loneliness is the same as my loneliness." Eddie smirked. He was at war with himself to just keep his mouth shut, but he felt as if he had to. "We're together, we're not alone," Eddie said. "Yeah, for now, I suppose," said Sad cryptically. "What's that supposed to mean?" "It means that it doesn't matter what we do, we're all gonna die anyway." "You know, you don't have to stay in Furlong. There are other cities," said Sue. "I know, and maybe I will one day. But the time isn't right. How is it you survived on your own out here?" questioned Sad. "Night by night," said Eddie. "Sounds like a lonely existence to me," insisted Sad. Eddie couldn't lie. When he was alone, the endless nights were an agony, more like enduring torture and hard lessons. But after Sue, he felt better. "It can be, but you seem like you were like that even before you were embraced," said Eddie. Sad shrugged, giving them no indication they were correct or incorrect. "Why do you go on if you're this miserable?" asked Sue. Sad took a moment to answer this question that he had asked himself on many a night. "I don't know. Maybe one day I'll find people that don't leave me," said Sad. Eddie looked to Sue as if curious what exactly that meant, but didn't quite want to ask. If they weren't currently hiding out, he would have just got up and left just then. Eddie nodded, knowing he was going to get very little sleep today. The three kindred could feel the pull of day looming in their bones. Their bodies knew to rest even without a clock. Eddie fought the day sleep as hard as he could for as long as he could. He didn't want to risk falling asleep in the den of another monster, even one that seemed as harmless as Sad. He looked over to the emo vampire who seemed to be sleeping, but his eyes were wide open, like a body on a mortician slab. Eddie couldn't be sure when it happened, but he fell victim to the day sleep. When his consciousness returned, he opened his eyes in mute horror. There was a stake in his heart. His eyes were half opened, and he saw Sue hopping on Sad's back, attempting to rip into his neck with her teeth. Eddie fought his paralyzation with every fiber of his being, but all he managed to do with the boiling rage inside him was twitch his fingers. Sad's body was a nimbus of darkness, and all one might see was two bright eyes that shone like headlights at the end of a dark tunnel. Sad tensed, and all the ambient darkness in the room became his. When he released, shards of inky black shot out of him like porcupine needles. Sue's shoulder was pinned to the metal of the water tower and suspended a foot from ground. Her shadow subtly inched over to Eddie while Sad's focus was on her. It pulled at Eddie's stake frantically, but its hands passed through. Sad turned around and looked back to Eddie. Sue's shadow sank and followed the rules of physics. "I wish I had what you had," said Sad. "Maybe it's just me. It's usually me. I'm gonna give you two the chance to be together forever through me." "You're fucking crazy. I thought you were just a harmless little incel, not this," said Sue, coaxing his attention back onto her. The moment his head was turned, her shadow self got back to work removing Eddie's stake. It wobbled ever so slightly. "I think you'll thank me in the end. I think when you're in there, you'll see what I mean," said Sad. The emo darkness-clad kindred neared Sue and brandished his teeth that were white as his eyes. The monochrome kindred sank his fangs into her neck. He began to pull anything that was her into himself. He meant to coax her soul into his. When he took the last drop, as Sue felt everything that was her falling away, she pulled. She and her shadow's collective will yanked the stake from Eddie. Eddie felt his body return to him. Eddie didn't have time to do anything else, so he reached into his jacket and fired a revolver at the sad beast. Those shots that struck sank into the shadow, but those that didn't ricocheted. One stray shot pierced the metal, sending a single shard of daylight bouncing into the tank. Sad's cheek burned from the shard of light. Sad's tendrils of darkness enveloped the room, and they pushed Eddie to the wall. The caitiff didn't stop drinking. He felt ecstasy, the ecstasy of love, not generated by living, but stolen emotions of Sue. She was becoming him. Her soul merged into his. Eddie screamed with the anger and despair of a man that's hope was ripped from his chest. Sad released his tendrils from Sue, and she fell away lifelessly. "Now, I promise you'll be together," said Sad as he moved towards Eddie, pinned on the warm metal. Sad opened his mouth to drain Eddie into nothing and merge with the void in his mind. As his teeth were inches from clamping down, a force stopped him. Sad's shadow had become Sue's shadow. The intangible woman yanked the tendrils like a lasso. He froze as if he were in a silent battle of wills within himself. "I'll always love you, Eddie," said the shadow, as she created a tendril of darkness herself and knocked the hatch off. The sun rained down on all of them. Sad roared with an uncharacteristically bestial rage and sent a shadow at Eddie, but the shadow of Sue pulled and pushed Sad instead. "I can't hold him, lover. Go!" "The sun, baby. The sun. You'll either die or you won't. Either way," said the shadow form of Sue. As horrific as it was, Eddie accepted that logic. He lived every moment of his life as if it was a personal challenge to death. "I love you," said Eddie to the shade. The intangible form of Sue caressed Eddie as if for the last time, then created an umbrella of shadow to the latter. Eddie looked back once before marching to face the day. When he reached the top, he nodded to his love and watched her go away and become sad. The umbrella of dark dissolved and the sun burned him as if he were in the mouth of hell. Sad stretched a tendril of darkness out through the top of the water tower, but it erupted in flames. He squealed in pain as the flames erupted over his body. Eddie dropped from the water tower, a ball of fire. His body was broken, but not his will. His fingers were skeletal, the flesh gone away. He fought with every piece of himself and rolled until he sloshed into water. Fate smiled on him as he fell into an open storm drain, into water that doused what was left of him. He knew now he lived in a dream, and it took a monster to wake him up. He was in Furlong's grip until he could sleep again.